Hello traders. Um, this is Lot Series SFL. So today we're going to be talking about how to trade a breaker block properly, right? Now, what is a breaker block and how do you identify a breaker block? Okay, when you come to the chart, guys, also please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell icon to always stay in tune for more forex smart money related content and the educational videos like this. All right. So now, when you come to the chart, right, most of you do identify uh, a price run, like when price performs something like this. Okay, then bought all the way high, all right, then before coming to your POI and the buy up, all right. Now, what do we call this? We call this a breaker block, all right. We call this a breaker block. So I'm going to go into the full context and how to identify a valid breaker block here, all right. So if you have come into the chart I see something like this, price broke structure, then bought all the way high or sold all the way low before coming to your POI right here and buying up. Now, what do we call this? What do we call that? We call that a breaker block. But to identify a valid breaker block, there are confluences that have to be involved, and those confluences can differ. We have a breaker block that uh, comes with a sweep, right? So we have a breaker block that uh, you know comes with a sweep of a high. Let me excuse me. Let me paraphrase this very well. Alright. So we have a breaker block that comes with a sweep of a low. Okay. Then broken structure. All right. Then it will buy all the way up, give you your inducement, right? Before coming to your POI and buying up. Yeah. Then we also have a breaker block that comes with a structural liquidity, right? We have a sweep of a low, all right? Then we have a structural liquidity, all right? So we have a structural liquidity, okay? Then price will buy all the way up, then give you an inducement, all right? Then take out the structural liquidity and react from your main low and went up, all right? So now these are the different type of sorry, I made a mistake. Went and Okay. All right. So these are the different type of structural of breaker block. These are the two most common type of breaker block that you mostly occur in the chart. And most of you, once this type of breaker block occur, you will think that a price will uh, use here as the entry point before going up, but rather price will react from the main low before going up, right? Now, what are the confluences? What confluences are behind this? What are the conformations that make a valid breaker block? Number one is that uh, a breaker block that has exit inducement, this inducement right here, should not be inside 50%. Like when you use your Fibonacci and measure from here to here, all right, let this breaker block not be inside 50%. If this breaker block, if this if the inducement of this breaker block is inside 50% here, then know that this breaker block is invalid. And what will happen? Price will take out this inducement and also read your POI, making you to hit your stop loss. Okay, the inducement here should not be inside 50%. The inducement should be above 50%. All right, for this type A of breaker block to be valid, right? Then now coming to the uh, type B form of breaker block, right? We have a um, a breaker block with a sweep of this low and a break of structure, giving us a structural liquidity here. You can call this a structural liquidity, or you can call it internal uh, inducement or internal break of structure, right? So we have the type 2 of the breaker block. Now, what's happening here? What is the confluence here? When you see this type of breaker block that comes with the structural liquidity, right? Also, uh, the same measurement here, use your fib and measure from low to the high of this inducement, that is to this break of structure right here. This inducement should not be inside 50%. This inducement right here should not even be on top or inside 50%. You should be above inside 50% for this setup to be highly valid. Highly valid. All right. Now, sometimes you might have an sometimes you can have a breaker block that has no sweep. All right. That is something like this. Okay. Yeah. Something like this. Then it gives you the inducement comes to your POI and the buy up. Good. So Sometimes you might have a breaker block uh, uh, that doesn't have a sweep. The same confluence that you use here and also on this one is the same confluence that you also use here. And most of you do mark your POI here when a breaker block occur. This is not always 100% or 90% confirmed, because most times if there is a fair value gap here, let's say there is a fair value gap at this zone, let's say there is a fair value gap here, okay, before this break of structure, and the price gave you your inducement, price will always use this zone, this fair value gap as a liquidity, then react from the other block here before going up. All right. So when a breaker block occurs, when a breaker block occurs, even if it is the type one, which is the breaker block with a sweep and a break of structure, all right, just use your Fibonacci and measure from the low to the high of this break of structure. This inducement should not be inside 50% here. All right. Even if all these those are fair value gap, and also here is fair value gap, price will always react from this main low, from the other block of this main low. Okay. Now, on the second one, which is the type two, once once this type of breaker block occurs and it has a structural liquidity plus the inducement, make sure that this inducement is not inside 50% here. If this inducement is inside 50% here, price will automatically read your POI. All right. Same thing occurs here. And when you start looking for a valid inducement, a valid inducement should be V shape. Well, let me delete. A valid inducement should be V shaped. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming. All right. Now, a valid inducement should be V shape. Okay, it should be V shape and also an A shape, and not a clustered candle like this. Should not be like this. Or you have a clustered candle that uh, is not making the inducement. Just say a valid inducement must be V shape and A shape, and not the one with a clustered candle for your breaker block to be valid. All right. So now let's look at this in the charts here. Okay. So you can see what occurred here. All right. I have a breaker block I have a breaker block with structural liquidity. Okay. And my inducement is what? And my inducement is V shape. V shape inducement. All right. Good. Now, if I use my Fibonacci to measure from here to here, okay, you can see that this inducement is not inside 50%. All right. Therefore, making my breaker block to be a valid breaker block. And you can also have more than this inducement. It can be three inducement or two inducement, but the first one matters. All right. So that is it for today. All right. So if you haven't followed me on my YouTube channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button and follow me for more YouTube content like this. All right. So see you guys in my next video.